Welcome everyone to Mondays with Meg. I have such a special guest with us here this morning as we're going to talk about time management. My very dear friend, Kristen Anderson, who some of you may know. She is assistant to Kara Bohoberry, Kara Benz, and she also has this fabulous podcast / YouTube channel.
Yeah, totally.
I'm like, what is the right word?
You got it.
Called Guide to the Unknown, which is amazing. You have got to check that out. I'll be putting the link on the video to that. But Kristen, welcome, and thank you for being on here with us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me. This is super fun. I love you, and I love getting to see you in person like we got to this summer, and this live like this. So I'll take you any way I can get you.
Oh, girl, ditto. Oh my gosh, you guys, it was all over when we met this summer.
Totally. My head exploded.
It was so great. Yes.
It was like seeing a celebrity.
Right? I mean, that's how I felt about you.
When you walked in, I was like, ah.
Well, so we love that you guys can join us in this conversation this morning. I hope you have your coffee ready. I hope you're ready to go. We are going to be getting real about time management. Now, Kristen, we have had a couple questions sent in so far this morning, so I'd love to go ahead and begin with that and see how much time we have. If any of you have any questions, go ahead and add them to the live stream. So this first one comes from Tracy, and she says, any recommendations for the working mom? I find that a couple of hours after work that I get with the kiddos, and while it's a happy choice, I find myself with little time after they're asleep to get everything done that I would like. Anything you'd want to say about that, Kristen?
Sure. So I'm not a mom, but I do have one tip that I would think might apply to Tracy and other moms trying to kind of fit things in. I don't really have like a fancy name for it or anything, but as we'll talk about probably, I use timers constantly to get stuff done, like every single day. And one of the things I do sometimes is when everything is hectic, but I want to get at least something done, I'll set a timer for even 10 minutes and just do whatever I can in that 10 minutes because it's better than nothing. So I'll set 10-minute timer and pick up all the clutter around the house. At the end of the 10 minutes, it's done, stuff like that. So maybe that could be helpful to Tracy. But besides that, since I'm not a mom and I don't have those kinds of time constrictions, I can't speak to it a ton. But I know you are a mom times many.
Yeah, and
I think you've got thoughts.
And, you know, right, Tracy, I'm in a little bit different stage of life than you right now. I do have 5 kids, and we've all survived them getting to adulthood. So I no longer have them all under my roof, but there was a time where I did, and I was working full time. My husband was working full time and traveling all the time, and man, it was a challenge. So I feel your pain, like coming through this message. And a lot of my clients have similar struggles. So I really, I agree 1,000% with Kristen. And I just want to add a little bit to it to where I want to give you a little bit different perspective on your days right now. First, I just want to tell you it's super appropriate for you to put things off till after the kids go to bed in the season you're in. And you might not like that answer. But from someone on the other side of your season, I will tell you, you don't get this time back. So first, I would encourage you to, if there's anything that doesn't need to be a right now that you're doing in the season you're in, let it go and have it wait until maybe your kids are in a little bit different stage. I don't remember how old your kids are to be able to speak to that. But that's the first thing I would do is take like a hard look at what your life is looking like right now. Maybe you're doing some things that you're not still supposed to be doing. You know, maybe they were from a season a little bit ago. And see if there's anything you can either cut out or delegate during this time. And anything that's left to that, see where you can fit that in times where maybe your kids aren't all with you and needing you. That's just, I don't know. That's just my gut on this for you. And I will say the season will change and your kids will get to ages where they can do a lot to help even. And it's a beautiful thing. So the more that you can not be frustrated, but organically work with what you have in the season you're in, that is where I would encourage you to start. Don't be frustrated because you won't get this time back. Okay. Hope that was helpful. I don't know. I feel like I got all warm and fuzzy. Like I'm like a little goosebumpy, guys.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense. And it is also nice. It's warm and fuzzy and giving somebody permission, which I think a lot of people need.
Absolutely. I know I love getting permission.
Oh, totally. We're so hard on ourselves, you know, to have somebody else be like, you can chill out. You're like, I can, and it's not bad. I feel like that's such a gift, honestly, is giving people permission and relief.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad. Well, Tracy, I hope you were on here this morning to hear that. If not, I hope you catch it later. Let us know what you think, how it works out for you. Now, Margaret also has a question, and this might be a great one. At work, she shares an office with 3 other people, and some days it's like Grand Central Station. It's so noisy and loud. She can't concentrate on what she's trying to do, and it really messes with her time management. Sounds like she's got a lot of distractions. Do you have any suggestions for her with that?
So I don't work in an office with other people. Obviously, I work with Kara, but she mostly works from home. Yeah, it's just this noise to the side. I can't get anything done.
Love you, Kara.
Yes, obviously. Sarcasm. But she mostly works from home. So I actually have kind of the opposite situation where I work in an office by myself most of the time. However, something that I do have in common with Margaret is that we use these loud sticker machines for cutting stickers. And they are very loud, and I find that distracting sometimes. It can be kind of hard to hear myself think when I'm writing something or whatever. So, you know, it's a little bit different because it's not like the sticker machines are going to come over to me and ask me a question. But if she doesn't mind looking a little nuts, I mean, people might not even notice. I actually bought earplugs that I use at work sometimes. And they're not super obvious, I would think, because they are these like clear wax, basically balls, which sounds gross, but like you just roll it into a ball and then you can kind of form them into your ears. And when I really know I need to get something done that the machines are going to be a distraction from, I do that. So that might be something to think about.
I love that. Yeah.
I can't think of advice really pertaining to the distraction of like well-meaning, but other people in your space right now. Do you have anything to say? Then I might think of something as you're talking.
Yeah. So I love that. I'm also this huge proponent of communicating your boundaries with people. Yes. Especially in the work environment where Kristen and I really kind of work on islands, right? Like I know I work from home. Most of my clients are right, and they're deaf. They don't know what I'm saying. And then, so, you know, with Kristen, similar thing, not the deaf dogs, but the very loud machines that she shares an office with. You know, we don't have situations like that, but I will say a lot of my clients do. And the first thing where I start with them is to really figure out what your boundaries need to be with your coworkers and in order to do your job well and get things done. Figure out what those are. And then once you're super clear about what you need those boundaries to be, go to whoever you need to and communicate those boundaries really clearly. So they're not going to be shocked when they come by your desk to talk about the office or something, you know, random that you really don't have time for right then. You can say, hey, you know what? I really do want to talk to you about this because I have all the thoughts, but let's wait till I have a break at 11:15 and let's meet up over by the copy machine. Or I don't know how that
whatever
works.
It is. Yeah.
Whatever your boundaries are going to be, but you can't really do that until you know what those boundaries are. And if you have the relationship with your boss where you can even talk to them about that and let them know, hey, I'm going to be communicating some things because I really want to do my best job. I don't think they're going to argue with that. You know?
No.
For sure. And Will made a comment. I'm going to show him on here. Will made a comment that sometimes he'll be on a conference call and his dog will start barking. It's super embarrassing. I will tell you, Will, my dogs do the same thing. I always have a deaf dog, deaf Great Dane with me on my calls.
I do.
And I'm right. And, you know, it's still confidential. They don't know what's being said. They're deaf. So it's fine. It's fine as a coach. And literally they will bark or make a weird noise or whatever. And I'm mortified, right? But my clients think it's adorable and they're like, "Oh, Luna, I love Luna." And I'm mortified. So I'm with you, Will. Yeah. Super rough. Very embarrassing. Yes.
I actually, before we got on the call, took Crumbs for my dog Crumbs. Will's my brother. My co-host of the podcast, Guides the Unknown. I took Crumbs for a little bit of an extra long walk this morning, hoping that it tired him out so that he wouldn't be loud during this. And so far, so good. He's passed out on the floor next to me. So I think we're in good shape so far. I did think of something.
Crummy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Crummy.
I'm ready to hear it.
While you were talking. This isn't advice that applied to me exactly, but it does in a way. I remember reading this or hearing it on a podcast or something about communicating to your coworkers about batching tasks. So a lot of us, like I'm all about batching tasks, not in this context, but I think that it could work. A lot of us are kind of connected on something during the day, whether it's that your coworkers work in close proximity to you, or whether you're talking on Slack all throughout the day or any sort of system like that. And whatever I read posited the idea of having a time where you have like either an away message on if you're doing it virtually or telling your coworkers in person, like, "Hey, I'm going to work on this right now. So I'm not going to be available until 11:30 or whatever. But at 11:30, then let's talk." So you're kind of removing that option of them bombarding you with things. And that makes a ton of sense to me.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, and I know kind of along those lines too, I was thinking, you know, it's okay to, so a lot of you, I think, also work from home. I tend to, you know, a lot of my clients, things like that, do have their own creative small business, work from home. And I will tell you, please also do the boundary thing with yourself. Maybe you need to start there. You know, maybe the boundaries, you know, you don't even need to communicate them yet. First, you need to get good at these boundaries and be clear on what these are. And, you know, set timers for you, like we've talked about. Put your phone on, what's it called?
Airplane mode.
Airplane mode is great.
Or do not disturb. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Do what you need to do. Schedule time into your day to respond to text message, to respond to emails. Blocking out that time really can make all the difference. But maybe you need to start with you before even you begin that with your coworkers. I don't know, but I hope that helps for sure.
I think that's a really good point, because we can put just like we're talking being hard on ourselves, we can put such expectations on ourselves and think that we look like we're not as good at our job if we're not super responsive. But I know there have been studies showing that being responsive doesn't necessarily equate to doing your job super well.
Right, for sure.
Yeah.
Right. Well, so Kristen, I think that it would be a great time for us to just take a couple minutes. We don't have a whole lot of time left, but if you could share with us, I know you use the Pomodoro technique, and I feel like everyone would be super interested to hear, number one, what that is if they don't know, and number two, how that has revolutionized your time management.
Yes.
And I hope that's not too strong of a word for you.
No, it is not. It is a game changer to me, to the degree that, you know how some game changers just become so much a part of your life, you kind of forget they're even a thing?
Absolutely.
I use this every single day, pretty much. Maybe that was an oversell, but I use it a lot.
Nice.
So the Pomodoro Technique was developed by this guy, I wrote it down, named Francesco Cirillo.
Lovely.
Right? When he was in college, because he was having a hard time focusing on his studies and all that kind of stuff. And so he got the idea to set a timer for himself, and he had a little tomato timer, like a kitchen timer. Nice. And that's why it's called the Pomodoro Technique. Pomodoro means tomato. And
Love it.
He experimented, but he figured out that he worked best in increments of 25 minutes of just solid work, no distractions, followed by 5 minutes of just play or, you know, just rest or whatever. And he figured out that the best way to do it is to do that 4 times. So 25 minutes work, 5 minutes rest, 4 times. And then after that, you give yourself like a 15 to 20-minute rest and then start the cycle over again and keep going that way. And it works for me super duper well. So in my ideal life, I sometimes, you know, am lazy or forget to do this. I will put my phone on do not disturb or airplane mode or whatever. I use my watch. I have an Apple Watch for the Pomodoro Technique most of the time. And I will just get down to business for 25 minutes and then the 5 minutes of chilling. And I've noticed for myself during those 5 minutes, I do best if I get up and kind of remove myself, do something else for those 5 minutes. Even if it's that I'm going to sit on my phone, I go sit somewhere else on my phone because you kind of need to like make that delineation. And I think those increments are really good. I've played with making it longer, making it shorter. 25 minutes is kind of a sweet spot because it's under half an hour, which is kind of like a marker of time. It's like less than an episode of Friends that you have to work. And then 5 minutes of rest isn't so long that you get totally off track and you're so absorbed in something else. So I love it. And I would also like to mention it's useful for me, not just for work and getting things done, but even, it's sad to say maybe, even for things that I enjoy, but I get distracted from doing.
So
something,
I love that.
So something I noticed in my life was that, I mean, it's silly, but it's true. Like, so I really like watching TV. I like reading, just entertainment stuff. And my friends would talk about how they're watching this show or they've done this thing and, or, you know, read this book. And I was like, how do they have time for that? Like, I just feel like I don't have time for it. And when I thought about it, like, it's not like I work so much more than anybody else. I do have hobbies, but whatever. I was like, I'm spending the time that I could be spending on doing these things that I enjoy, screwing around on my phone. Like that's where my time is going. So I now, it depends on my mood, but I will set a 25-minute timer for him to be like, okay, I'm just going to focus on watching this TV show without scrolling at the same time where I'm not even paying attention to it and not fully enjoying it. And then I have 5 minutes to screw around or whatever. And it is very helpful for me. I've been getting a lot of TV and I'm happy to report.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, hey, that's great for self-care. It's great for everything.
Totally.
For sure. Or even if you're getting things done around the house and you just want to see how much can I get done in 25 minutes? And you might be shocked, really, if that's the one thing you are focused on in that time and not answering texts or looking at anything else or whatever.
Yes, absolutely.
Good. Thank you for sharing that with us. If you're interested in that, you know, do a little Google search, learn more about it. I love that works for you. You are balancing so many different things, so many different projects. And I feel like that's why I really wanted to have you on for time management, because I thought it would just be so helpful for everyone to know what's working for you. Yeah. You know, how are you able to do all of this? Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Totally. It's prioritizing the things that you want to do most. And then kind of like making the other things take a little bit of a backseat. And I have the leeway to do that because it's not like the things that are in my way are things like children or real commitments, but hopefully there's something that you can even take a grain of and apply to your life.
Absolutely. Well, I think that is a really good segue, actually, to let all of you know that because I love you all so much, I have created this time management guide that I'm going to have available for free download on the blog once I get this video up later today, that I think is going to be super helpful with you figuring out the best way to manage your time. Anybody else, but really figuring out for you in your season of life that you're in right now, how do I even navigate this? This exercise that's in this workbook that's going to be for free download on my website, it literally walks you through exactly how to figure that out. And so I'm excited for you to get it, number one. Then I'm excited to hear how it works for you. It's very similar, and they've had a lot of really managing their time well, making the most of their minutes every day, and figuring out what even needs to be my priority right now. What can I delegate? What don't I need to be doing? Like, what are my absolute I have to get done? And what are things that are just not, that I may be putting in that category that don't need to be there? You know, we are definitely our own worst enemies sometimes. So I hope that this is super helpful for you. And Kristen, thank you for being on with us this morning. It has been a delight for me. I hope it's been for you too.
Absolutely. Thank you so, so much for having me. It was
Yay.
so fun to talk about this stuff. It was so fun to see you and talk to you in real time. It was great.
I know I miss you.
I know. I miss you too. Come back.
So we should definitely do this again. We
Yes.
should definitely do this again sometime.
I would love
And
to.
then everyone, yay. So I just want to let you guys know, I'm going to be back next week. Kristen, I don't think will be with. I'm going to be back next time, same place, all the things. And I'm going to be talking about self-confidence. So I really hope that you will join me for that. I'm going to be putting the event link on this video, so it'll be easy for you to set a reminder to join me. But I really hope you will, because it's like a plague right now with people struggling with self-confidence. And I really feel like our time together is going to be super helpful. I want to hear where you struggle at. Join me next Monday, 8 a.m. Central for self-confidence talk. And I hope you have a lovely Labor Day. Enjoy every moment, and make sure that you're working on those moments, making them count. Yeah. Okay, I love you all. I love you, Kristen.
I love you, Meg.
Thank you for joining us. Yes, have a fabulous Monday.
You too.
My pleasure. Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye.